The 1st of December, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos.
Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst, as you mentioned. Here in Yeshiva Samanapshi, here in Yerushalayim, here on Zoom. We're learning Pirkei Avos right now. The Derech Chaim is Ramarim Prague's Perish on Pirkei Avos. Let's start from the beginning. We started this a bit last week, but since it's been a few days, let's just review starting from the very beginning.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hadavar shehu elav legomre la'atzmo hu koneh oso lo davar she'ein tzarich elav kol kach she'ein tzarich elav kol kach she'ein koneh hadavar hahu. Okay, so let's see. Something that he love is on him.
Yes, something Davish to a love legamri la, so something which is a love legamri la, so something which is like I would think it's almost it's not he's not saying this exactly, but I would say that something which is like almost part of himself, something which is considered part of himself, the completely. Something which is part of himself completely, that's something which is kainos, that's something which he possesses.
Something which is part of himself completely is something that he possesses, not something that he doesn't need.
Something which not something which he doesn't need so much,
and not something that he needs so much. That it's not an acquisition of something. So, in other words, if it's got to be something that is almost part of him, not something that he doesn't need so much, not something that he does need only so much. Those things are not acquisitions.
Right. Like for example, let me use an example. Let's say a person's going on a camping trip, right? Camping trip into the wilderness, right?
Right.
So there are certain things which he he if he doesn't have these things, he's not going to go, right? He's got to take these things with him, right?
Right.
There are some things which, if he doesn't have them, he'd still go. It may not be so great. It may be a little bit more uncomfortable, but if he doesn't have those things, he'd still go. But there are certain things, if he doesn't have those things, he's not going to go. He's simply not considered prepared for it.
Right.
So similarly, there are certain things in life with the person's possessions, which are things which are necessary for the person, and they're really considered to be very important, and other things which are less important. So those things which are very important and they're almost part of him, almost considered part of him, those things are considered, they can be rightfully called, you can apply the expression possession to those things.
Right. Let's see. Ach efshar sheyipol lo bereshus b'Yerusha af davar she'ein tzarich kol kach. It's even possible. What is sheyipol?
That The kid literally like however, even though Efsha Yipol Birush, it can fall to him through inheritance. A person can get something through an inheritance.
Ah, possible that something could fall to him through an inheritance, even something that's not so necessary. Okay, so you inherit a a trampoline. So it's nice to have a trampoline, but don't really need it so much. So what does that mean? That means it is or is not an acquisition.
Well, the acquisition is a less of a level. I mean, when you use that expression acquisition, right, it's different than saying it's a possession, right? Like when you possess something, it's different than when you acquire something. You acquire something, if it's not exact, like your trampoline, you can acquire a trampoline, but it's not a necessity. Something which is a necessity, right? That's something which is considered to be, you can rightfully use the expression uh, a possession.
So what's the significance of the fact that it's an inheritance?
Because I think the inheritance is something he's conscious because that in a certain way the inheritance is somewhat attached to the person. There's an attachment of a person. Not I'm not talking like an emotional attachment. There's like the fact that it's an inheritance is something that is a connection between the two, but it's not that type of connection which would still allow it to be referred to as a possession.
I see. Okay. Ach ki yesh lifrosh gam kain the perush ha rishon. So even since there is to explain also the explanation, the first explanation, hadavar shahu echad ve'ein davar imo, that the thing that's first, the thing that is unique, and not something that is with him. Devar ze hu tarich elav bioter shaharei ein od echad ulefichach tarich lo brio bioter. Something that is unique and not something that's with him. Something this thing, it is needed by him more than we see. It's not additionally one.
Let's see.
I'm not lost.
Right. Davar shu echad ve'ein davar something which is intimate. Is whole. It's whole within itself without any other thing along with it. Davar zet surach elav biyoser. It's something which is needed even more. Ve'ein od archad, and it's needed in and of itself because there's nothing else that needs it, right? Sorach lobios, and therefore it's needed even more so. Those meaning some things they don't have a purpose. This is what we discussed a little bit last week as well. Some things don't have a purpose unless they're accompanied with something else. You have something that runs with a battery, right? So the object itself is not going to be very worthwhile if you don't have a battery to run it, right?
Right.
So it's only going to have importance and significance and worth if you have all the batteries that you need. If you're missing the batteries, you're missing the ability to use this object properly. So therefore, the fact that it's not independent in and of itself, it also shows that it's not such an extreme necessity.
Well, I don't know. Let's take a flashlight. You're going on your camping trip. You're going to take a flashlight with you.
Right.
The flashlight is a necessity. If you don't have that flashlight, when it gets dark, you're in big trouble. So that flashlight, I would say, is a strong necessity, but nevertheless, it needs batteries.
Right.
So how does the fact it needs batteries take away from the fact that it's a necessity?
Because that's the exact point. Even though it can't be such a even though it is a very important absolute necessary, but that flashlight is only going to be good to you if those batteries last. If those batteries poop out, you're in as bad trouble as if you didn't have a flashlight at all.
Right.
Right. So the fact that the flashlight is not something independent, right? You automatically don't have the bond with it to the same extent as if it would be something which did not require something else for its functioning. Since you need the flashlight and the battery to function properly, right? So there's that it's lacking in the context of calling it a possession, because it's not you can't truly possess something if something else is needed besides the thing itself.
I'm not getting it.
Like you have a car, right? A car, but without the keys, car's not going to do you much good, right?
Right.
So,
but it's still an absolute necessity, and I need it just as much as I would need it if it didn't have a key.
right, but the fact that it's not just the fact that it's a necessity. It also has this other quality of being an independent entity, right? It's another aspect. The fact that it's a necessity is also important, right? But the fact that it's not completely independent is a indication that it's not something which you fully possess. You can't say you fully possess something which is something dependent upon other things for its whatever it needs to do for you.
Okay. She'im haya devar imo lo haya kol kach tarich lo. That if it is something with it, if it needs something with it, then it's not so much needed by him. Achshav shehu echad hu tarich alav bioter. Now that it is whole, it is needed by him more so.
So the fact that it's complete, is even more of an indication that he needs it, that it's more of a necessity to him.
Vayomer Torah kinyan echad harei haTorah hi inyan echad bilvad ulechach hu kinyan el Hashem. And it says the Torah is a complete acquisition. We see that the Torah, it is a unique subject alone, and therefore it is a acquisition for Hashem. Good?
Yeah, good.
Ukavar ba'arno ze lemala ki haTorah hi echad l'gamrei. Excuse me. And already, what is ba'arno?
We have explained,
It's explained.
but actually, we have explained.
Oh, we have explained this above. When the Torah, it is whole and complete, completely whole. Shelechach Pesach Aseres Hadivaros.
Source the word. That's the 10th commandment. Source the words.
Aseres Hadibros.
The aleph. Therefore, the Aseres Adibros starts with an aleph.
Starts with an aleph. V'ha'olam nivra bebet. And it ends with a bet.
Ha'olam, the world was nivra, was created with a base.
Oh, created.
Nivra, right? Nivra is to create, right?
And the world was created with a base. Lomar ki ein davar yoter echad kamo haTorah. To teach us that there's nothing more whole like the Torah. The Torah begins with an aleph. No, I'm sorry, the Ten Commandments begins with an aleph. And the world was created with a bet. And this tells us that there's nothing more whole than the earth, than the world, than the Torah. I'm not sure I follow the logic there.
Okay. Let's see. That Omer, if we see, there's an indication from the fact that the Asaras Dibros begins with Aleph and the world is created with base Lomer. That tells us Ki ein davar yoser echad kemo haTorah. There's no greater thing which is echad. Like echad, I think means like unified, perfect or unified, like the Torah. There's no greater, nothing greater. There's a greater unification than the Torah.
What does the unification of the Torah have to do with the Aleph and the Bet?
Something starting with Aleph. The assertion starts with Aleph, and the world was created with Bet. That I can't really answer that. It needs more of a full explanation. You have to know how he understands that to be. He's giving that as an axiom, because Aleph starts with the Aseres Dibros and the Olam is Nivra Bebeit. How that is all considered, therefore, La'omer ki ein davar yoser echad kemo haTorah. Have to. No, it needs a full explanation, which is unless it's provided, you can't guess at these things. But that's he's laying that down as a principle.
Okay. Kemo she'amru b'midrash ani echad v'haTorah hi echad v'ha'aleph echad ki haTorah hi koleles v'hakol ba v'im kach v'im kain אי אפשר שיהיה דבר תולסה. So it's like that which is said in the Midrash, I am one, and the Torah is one, and the Aleph is one. Since the Torah, it is kolelis. What's kolelis?
Kolelis means it's all inclusive.
All inclusive, and all comes with. I'm sorry. It all comes. It all comes, and if so.
But whole boy and everything, everything's in it. It's all inclusive, including everything.
Okay, it's all inclusive, having everything in it.
Right.
And if so, or in other words, therefore, EF Shar, it's not possible that there should be something besides it. Ki hadavar shehu chelek bilvad efshar shehaya od davar shehu hacholek hasheni. Since something that is a part alone, it's possible that it is additional, an additional thing, that it is a part of a second thing.
Right. Something which that kita b'shu chelik bilvad, something which is only a component alone. It's only something which is only a component. It's possible, Otavishu Chalek Asheni. It could be also something which is it can be a secondary component as well. Once it's something is a component, it can be like a secondary component. Doesn't have it can't it once it's a component, that means it's already regulated to being secondary. It's not can't be the the one exclusive thing.
Devar shehu hakol efshar sheyiyeh od echad imo. But a thing that it is a complete part. In other words, it's not a component. It's impossible that it should be further one with it.
Right, exactly. Avadavishu hakol, something which is all inclusive. There's something which is all inclusive. Is impossible that something else should be along with it.
With it, something should be along. Something additional should be along with it.
Right, imo is with it.
Imo is with it, and acher, afterwards with it. Afterwards with it. The kevan she haTorah.
The word acher here means something else. It's impossible that something else is with it.
Is with it. Something else is with it. The kevan she haTorah hi echad hu kinyan legamre el Hashem. And since that the Torah, it is whole, it is a possession, complete possession of Hashem. Shelo tochal lomar she'ein haTorah legamre el Hashem ki yesh od devar imo ki ein od devar im haTorah. What is tochal?
It's not possible. Shelo tochal. Tochal means possible. Shelo tochal, it's impossible.
It's not possible to say that the Torah is not complete to Hashem, because there is further something with it, because there is nothing in addition to Ein od devar im haTorah. There is no additional thing with the Torah.
Right. So kevan shaTorah hi acha, since the Torah is completely one, ukinyan legamre, therefore it's a complete possession to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shelo tochal lo, I mean, it's impossible to say she'ein haTorah gamri el Hashem Yisbarach. It's impossible that the Torah is not completely Hashem's. Why? Because there's something else along with it. Why? Because ain't od devar im Torah. There's no other thing along with the Torah. The Torah is something which is completely self-contained.
I think we might say that the Torah is unique in that respect.
Exactly. That's part of its uniqueness. Correct.
Okay, so I guess the example of the battery is making a little bit more sense. Everything in the physical world has a battery of some sort, something that's connected to something that it's not complete without.
Right.
V'chein ha-shemayim v'aretz heim miyuchadim she'ein shetuf imahem klal. And similarly, and thus, the heavens and the earth, they are miyuchadim.
They're
I'm not sure what miyuchadim means.
unique or exclusive.
Okay, so the heavens and the earth are unique or exclusive. That there is not a shatuf is a partner
Yes, that's right. Correct.
at all. There is no partner to that with them at all. They have no partners. Ki tzava hashemayim v'tzava haaretz. What's tzava?
Saba is like the retinue. The retinue.
Because the retinue of the heavens and the retinue of the earth, ein litzvo ihem shetuf klal imahem ki tzva ihem nikra that there is not what's litzvo ahem.
This is the plural of tzava. Tzava is a retinue, right? So now when you're referring to the retinues of the Shemaim, the retinues of the Aretz, there's not to their retinues shituf klal imoim. There's no partner or other component to their retinues at all.
Because the retinues are called, as it is written in Bereshis, Ella Tolados Shemayim v'aretz Sham v'yocholu Hashemayim v'aretz v'chol tziva'am uvodai ein chibur lahem imahem aval hashemayim v'aretz miyuchedim be'atzmam. So let's see. As it is stated, but the generations of the heaven and the earth, they are able by vayachulu hashemayim va'aretz, and Hashem created or completed the heavens and the earth and all their hosts. Uvevadai,
Uvadai, right.
Uvevadai, and certainly Ein chibor, there is no group lahem for them, eat with them, but the heavens and the earth are exclusive in and of themselves. Ve'ein lomar halo hashemayim va'aretz ba'atzmam heim mecholkim. And we don't say, is it not the heavens and the earth by themselves? What is mecholkim? To disagree?
Well, sort of, but they're not divided. They're not divided. Meaning, Ein Omer, right? Don't say, well, look, the Shemayim is by itself, the Arts is by itself. So when you say that they're both split up, maybe you're telling me that it has to be one, it has to be completely self-inclusive. But you're telling me it's Shemayim v'Aretz. So maybe you would think to say, well, they're not one thing, they're really two things.
Right. But you can't say that because they're not divided.
Well, don't suggest that they're divided and therefore two things, and therefore they depend one on the other.
Right. Devar zeh ein kasha ki hashemayim va'aretz heim miyuchedim mis havrim biyachad kamo ha egol v'hamarchez shebetocha. And this thing, it's not a question, because the heavens and the earth, they are mischavrim. I don't know.
They're joined. This chabrim are joined biyachad, together. They're joined together.
Like, what is this word? Egol?
Eagle is a circle.
Like a circle. V'hamar merchaz. Merchaz is a market.
No, actually, it means center. It means like Merkaz is a center.
Center, and the center is within them.
Right, the center and the center within it, meaning the Shemayim Haaretz are like a circle, and the center that's within the circle. They're all one thing.
Okay, so shelechach amru chachamim shenivra'u shamayim va'aretz yachdav ve'ein ze below ze kidikasiv Korah ani aleihem yamdu yachdav kide isa beperush ein dorashin. That therefore the Chachamim say that we see the heavens and the earth together.
We see that there was Shechach Amr Chachamim Shenivru Shemayim Aretz Yachad. The Shemayim Aretz were created together.
We're created together. Sheniv Ra'u, created. Together. And this is not without this.
Right, but the Ein Zeh below Zeh, one doesn't exist without the other.
As it is written, I called them to stand together, as it is explained. There is no derivation.
That to the Isa Beperik Ein Dorshin, as it's explained, as it's brought in the Perik in the Gemara and Chagiga, Ein Dorshin.
As it's brought.
To the Isa, as it's brought, right.
In the Perik Ein Dorshin in Hagiga, She'ein Zeh below Zeh Ukamo She'yisba'er Bisamuch Shehem Devar Echad Biyachad. And this is not without this.
Right. She'ein Zeh below Zeh. This cannot be without that one.
Ukamo, and it's like that we explained closely that they are things that are one together.
Right. Shehem, meaning the Shemayim V'Aretz, Davar Echad B'Yachad. They are one thing together.
L'fichach Hashemayim V'Aretz miyuchadim heim v'hadavar shehu miyuchad shayich lomar shehu kinyan el hakadosh baruch hu. And therefore, the heavens and the earth are exclusive, and this, I'm sorry, and this thing is exclusive. She'ayef. What is she'ayef?
That's Shaykh Lomer. It's possible. Shaykh means possible.
It's possible to say that this is an acquisition of Hashem, legamrei, completely. Shaharei ein devar imahem, for we see that there is nothing with him. Shetochal lomar ki od yesh devar imahem. What's tochal?
It's not possible.
Possible. so we see that this thing is not possible. I'm sorry, Ein Devar Imahem, there's nothing with them that's possible to say. There's nothing with them that if there was something with them, it would be possible to say, since there is something more with them.
Right, sure. Right. That's so since the Fika, let's start for the Fika Kashmai Vars Yukanim Haim, since the Fika, since the Shemai Arts are unique, Yukanim Haim, Vadavar Shu Miyuchad, there's something which is unique, Shaykh Lomer, it's possible to say about it that it's a possession of a Kadosh Baruch Hu completely. Why? Shari Ein Dabri Morim. There's no other thing along with them. Shetokoloma, that you should be able to say Yesh Od Yesh Ki O Yesh Dabri Morim. There is still something along with them. Since they're both completely, since the Shemayim Rod say are a self-contained, independent unit, so that's something which can be properly called a possession of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Okay. Very good.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Lou. Very good for the reading. Let's take a bit of a break and we'll pick up again with the Mishnah Brewer.
Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Very good. Thank you, Lou. See you soon.